What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mikhail Casanova, back at you with another Joyride episode. Riding in the car, just talking story with you on my way home. Grab some food and whatnot. There's some things I want to talk about. And it's about being a content creator. And I meant to do this earlier. I actually meant to do this yesterday, but I was busy. I'm finding myself more and more busy as time is going on. I have less time to do quite a number of things. It's not a bad thing. It's just neither here nor there. But, as a content creator, there's something I'm constantly seeing, especially within not just the YouTube gaming scene, but within just YouTubing in general. There's always this constant thing with drama. There's YouTubers calling each other out. There's big beefs, and there's a clear distinct difference between bigger YouTubers and smaller ones. And there's some drama that went down the other day, or yesterday rather, and it was ugly. It was really ugly. I'm not calling fault on any of the parties involved. I really don't have a horse in this race. But one of the things I will say, as someone who has been in YouTube beefs before, I've called out bigger channels. I've been called out by bigger and smaller channels. I've even recently had a beef, not even with the YouTuber, but with his fan base that came after my family. And one thing I want to say to all content creators that are out there, if you're a gaming content creator, the focus should never be about how many subs you have and what clique you're with or any of that. The focus should be on making the content. If you're a gamer, you're part of a gaming community, then enjoy being part of it and making the content for gaming. Now, I know the current trend when it comes to gaming YouTubers, I like to call them regurgitation YouTubers, because basically they're just taking articles that someone else wrote or information. Oftentimes they'll find information and then they'll just regurgitate it to people in their own words. And it's the current trend in gaming is to be a quote-unquote journalist. And so I'm not going to knock people for the hustle of wanting to do that. I just think they're a dime a dozen. I think too many people are trying to be quote-unquote journalists. But there are people in those positions of being YouTube journalists and influencers. I'd rather say influencers than journalists. And they have a bit of a monopoly on the market. And because of the monopoly, unless you have something fresh and original, I don't really think there's a way any smaller YouTuber will be able to come up and really take their spot or be on that level with them. That's just me speaking frankly. If you weren't doing it at the beginning, it's going to be it's a hell of a climb up. But that's the current thing in YouTube gaming, and you have a lot of people that are beefing over who did what to who, who's taking whose news, who stole whose sources, all this petty, unnecessary man-child bullshit. And I want to speak about this because I know some people have said, some people say there's YouTube mafia or YouTube mob where you go against them, you get blacklisted. And there's others who say it doesn't exist. Typically the ones that say it doesn't exist are the ones that are either in that YouTube mob, or they are the ones that are kissing up to and trying to get somewhere in that mob or with that group. Collective. I'll just say collective. I'll stop saying mob. I'll say collective. And as someone who has been on the outside of that gaming group, and also the tech YouTuber group that also has its own little pocket of people. It is true that if you piss off certain people in certain communities on YouTube, and this is true for most things in life, you will not be able to go up by conventional means or by their means, be that buying subscribers or whatever it may be. Some people just have such influence where if they give you a shout out, you're growing. And what I want to say to people is don't cross these individuals. I've crossed many. But at the same time, I don't really give a fuck because I don't need YouTube. YouTube is it's a gig for me. I do it for fun, and I get to work with gaming companies, which to me is the most important thing because that's the childhood dream. I don't care about the number of subscribers or the views or who I know. It's not about that. But I will say, if you are an up-and-coming content creator, and you don't try to make a name for yourself by calling someone else out. Don't go into accusing anyone of anything unless you have solid proof of it. And if anything, just keep your nose clean. Go out, have fun, do what you do. Enjoy the hobby. If gaming's your passion, focus on the games. Don't focus on the drama. Don't focus on the beef. Don't focus on other nonsense. This ain't high school. And we all should be grown adults here. And in saying that, just have fun. Content creation is about content creation. And there's a lot of people that are in YouTube for the wrong reasons. A lot of them are in it for the money. And let's just be honest, a lot of people are in it for the money. There's money to be made if you do this the right way. But for me, it's about working with the game companies. I've made some really, really good friends. And I'm happy with my small circle. And, for anyone who sees this, if you agree with it, cool. If you don't agree with it, cool. I don't really care. I just think there's too much drama on YouTube. It seems like every other week or every other month something's popping off. And I've personally just gotten to the point where I don't follow any gaming, except for maybe one or two. I definitely follow my friend Xander. Other than that, I don't really follow a lot of gaming YouTubers. It's too much drama. It's just way too much. There's a lot of people with very fragile egos, and it's kind of a thing where the loudest person in the room is often most popular YouTuber. Because if it was back in the day, before social media and all this, if anyone were to talk all kinds of shit like they talk now, I'm sorry. People's mouths would get their asses handed to them. That's just how I am. If I say anything to anyone, I wouldn't say anything I wouldn't say to their face. So if there's a lot of petty people on YouTube, I just put it that way. A lot of petty people. Confront them doesn't do any good. Oftentimes it makes, especially if you're a smaller channel going up against a big one, oftentimes it makes you look like you're desperate for attention. More often than not, that's not the reason. Sometimes people can rub you the wrong way and you want to say something. I do suggest going against that and just focusing on you doing you, do your own thing, have your own little circle. You can be cordial with people, don't mean you got to be friends with them. But other than that, that's just my thoughts. There's a lot of fake motherfuckers on YouTube. Let's just put it that way. And that's just how it is. That's how it is. I mean, there's fake people in life as a whole. But it is what it is. The best part about being a gaming YouTuber, a tech YouTuber, just a YouTuber in general, you get to work with the companies you enjoy. That's the most rewarding thing. I'm in YouTube. I don't even give a fuck about, as I said, the subscribers. I care about my subs, but I'm saying I don't care. That's not the aim of trying to be the next 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 subscriber. Having that many subscribers. I care about having the business relationships with Sega, Sony, Nintendo, whatever, gaming companies, because that to me is way more important than how many subs I got or my sub count. Because if YouTube goes away tomorrow, a lot of people gonna be shit up a creek, and I'm gonna be sitting here with my career outside of YouTube and my contacts and relationships with these companies, and I'm gonna be straight. Just saying. But that's the video. I'll catch y'all on the next one.